Hey everybody, welcome back to the finally a new episode of Rose Lake Park. This is 1910 to 1919. This is map 3. And I am Fisherman, and I am joined today by two of my buddies.
Hi, I'm Wolf Tenor.
And I'm Bullethead.
While we're recording this in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And during this time period that our park takes place was during the big flu pandemic. So it's kind of fitting. We're all kind of stuck at home. We've gotten a whole bunch of stuff done on the park because we've been stuck at home with nothing else to do, pretty much. We usually have a lot more people on the team. Waggy and City Trader have both decided to leave the project to pursue their own projects for a while. And JP decided to leave the project. He was kind of getting burnt out. We've all been on the project for about 5 months now.
It's Christmas. Yeah,
so it's like the last day of November when we started officially working on the project. So it's understandable. Burnout happens. People get tired of working on stuff that they don't really get to be completely creative on. So that happened. Drew couldn't be here. Drew's still working on it with us, but he busy with his Planet Zoo projects and his Beyond Drew TV channel. So he's going to be joining us some more. We're going to show off the stuff that he built, and he's going to be joining us at a later date. Modern parks are more his thing, so we can look forward to him contributing more as the park grows up. So a lot of things have happened in the park. We are right now looking at something that wasn't here before. We are looking at a road. We did not have a road leading to the park before. If you remember from the last episode, Rose Lake Park started out as a trolley park, and the only way to get to it at the time was either by train or trolley. And now, with the dawn of the automobile, we have built our first road leading up to the park from the town of Peepsburg. Actually, let me turn the map around here. So we have this sign, this road that goes off map here. We have Peepsburg off to the left somewhere, and this new town called Parluciana goes off to the right. This town was named by one of our fans. It's actually a part of some fan fiction. A guy named Matt Downs on the official Frontier forums has been making some stuff inspired by Rose Lake Park, and we're going to show off something that he made, something very special that he made for us here in a bit. But he came up with that city name. It comes from the Planko word for place. So there's a little bit of an interesting fact there. So first thing you see here, I'm going to turn this over to Bullethead. So what we have here is a schmaltz coal truck coming in from the city to deliver coal to the park. And Bullethead, why don't you tell us about this vehicle that you made for us?
Okay, this is a 1915 REO Speedwagon. That was the actual name of the vehicle. The band just called themselves after the vehicle. So this was actually a pretty high-tech truck for its day. It had pneumatic tires and an electrical system, not only lights, but a starter, so you didn't have the hand crank. But
Cool.
It's about 1,000 pieces, and we made several versions of it. You'll see scattered throughout the park in different configurations. But anyways, this is just a utility vehicle. Most of the people in the area didn't yet have cars, so we got some trucks to haul freight. That's about it.
Awesome. I really, really appreciate the level of detail that you put into this. And I really appreciate all the variations of the truck that you made for the park. There's some really cool stuff. I can't wait to show it off. Actually makes some sounds. So we put some of the road sounds in. Some of the little city sounds. I think you used, was it like the 1930 city sound or something you used?
30th Street.
Yeah.
It has a klaxon horn and not so many horse hooves.
Not so many horses. Okay. We still have horse hooves in other parts of the park because we still have our carriages going out through the park. Okay, so moving on past the power station that you guys might remember from last episode, we've added a second Rose Lake Park entrance arch. So we had the one going over the trolley line before, and now we have duplicated that entrance and we have it going over the main road from the city leading up to the park. So, go up here a ways. Off to the left here, you're going to see a big open kind of field up on a hill. And that's going to be our first sort of parking lot, so to speak. Aren't any cars on it yet, because cars were extremely expensive and they didn't have a whole lot of them back then. So those peeps pretty much relied on the trolley coming into the park at this point. Here is another coal truck. This one is empty because it has already delivered coal and it's heading out of town. Out to town. Okay, so we're coming up on the first new thing here. So our buddy Matt Downs from the Frontier Forums, he's a trolley enthusiast, and when we made the trolley for Rose Lake Park, he was kind of really excited about it. He had already started working on one, and I had sent him some information. He had asked about some of the parts that I used, and we kind of talked back and forth, and he ended up making this one pretty much for us for the park. So he made us a larger trolley. We needed more capacity. We had a lot more people coming to the park. So he made us this really cool open-sided trolley. Lots of really cool details in it. He's got it available on the workshop. And I will definitely have that link. It's already in our collection that'll be available when you download the park. But I'll try to put this in the link down below in the description also. But it's really cool. Lots of cool details. When they turn the power pole around and switch it the other way, the little seat backs flip backwards so that the seats can face the other way, which is kind of cool. I didn't know the trolleys did that, but he's got all kinds of detail in there. And then the driver would move down to the under end of the car. But really cool. We've got our sound effects in there. So it's pretty cool. And he's got Rose Lake Park, Parluciana, and Peepsburg on the side. Pretty awesome. Okay, so moving on. This is the little loading dock that Drew had made, Beyond Drew TV had made for us. Coming on up to the trolley station. Trolley station's pretty much the same. Had to modify the station platform just a little bit for the new trolley.
Maybe just zoom up from there to show an overview of all the...
I don't want to show too much, but I'm going to show this part here. This is the main entrance area, the lawn that we're calling it. Formerly the Midway area. If you have been following the vlog, or if you've been following us on Shy Guys World, you may have seen the newspaper headlines that there was a fire in Rose Lake Park that pretty much wiped out the Jackalope roller coaster and most of the Midway. Thankfully, some of the stuff was spared. The Nickelodeon theater was spared. The Grasshopper side friction figure 8 coaster was spared. The carousel was spared. Thankfully, the fire was put out just in time for those structures. The station of the Jackalope was spared. So we're going to be taking a look at what the park did with those things here in a bit. But I'm going to let Bullethead talk about the goings on, because there was something fishy that happened with the fire and the insurance policy that the park had taken out. You want to fill us in on the details there, Bullethead?
All right. Well, the day after the fire, one of the founders, guy Bartholomew de Taru, descended on the insurance company with some Pinkertons who dug up dirt on the executives and some local muscle. They negotiated with the insurance company, basically came up with an offer that nobody could refuse. So even though the policy was signed the day after the fire, it was actually effective the day before the fire. So the Rose Lake Improvement Company got the money, which was triple indemnity, so they got lots of money. But on the other hand, the park had to make some concessions, significantly upgrade the water system, and actually get a fire station and fire department local to the park established. So that's how all of the repairs were possible, but also why there was a huge amount of infrastructure upgrades as well. I mean, if you look at the paths in the park, you will see manholes and fire hydrants along them because of all the big water mains there now.
Exactly. Yeah. So, lots of improvements came about because of it. We were sorry to see the original Jackalope go, but I think you're going to like what we ended up. I think you're going to like what ended up going in its place. Hopefully. We'll see. So coming out of the trolley station here, so it pretty much stayed the same. This is a new area we're going to be focusing on for this first video for map 3. I'm going to be taking this path off to the right here. Part of one of the backstories says, due to the current shortage of workers due to their service overseas in the Great War in Europe, Bruin had contracted to bring in a number of laborers from Japan. He hoped to allow them to recreate a typical Japanese garden, which was well known for their beauty, to add to the Rose Lake Park's own natural flora. So, brought back some laborers from Europe to work on this project. So they built us a Japanese garden in the park. And so Waggy worked on this for a long time. And then Wolf Tenor and I Wolf Tenor did most of it. I did a couple of little small things that I'll show you. But we wrapped it up, tied up the loose ends, and finished the Japanese garden. But it's a really pretty place. So we're going to go inside here and show it off. So we have off to the right here. Start with the thing that you see, the icon that you see you can see it from outside the park. Temple of the Roses. It's a beautiful giant pagoda. This started out as a workshop item that Waggy put in, and we embellished it a little bit. We put a staircase up the middle. Wolf Tenor made this little meditation garden off to the side here. We have a little almond cakes sweet shop here. So
Which changed the name several times.
Yeah, we changed the name of that several times. We kind of argued about if it was going to sell sushi or chop suey or what, but we ended up with sweet cakes. So up inside the tower, we have some peaceful wind chimes that I made, and this amazing view looking out over the park with some cool stuff in the distance that we might not talk about in this video, but we'll certainly talk about in the next video. Some cool wind chimes that are entirely toolkit items. We'll give credit to the toolkit designers.
Sound nice.
Yeah, they sound nice. Going back towards the entrance gate, we have on the back side of the food establishment, we have this theater. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. This theater that we created, and we turned it into a little puppet stage. So there's a little puppet show going on in there. It's a nice little shrine where you can give an offering, some coins, and a little bowl. It's a nice bridge overlooking a pond with some koi swimming around. Beautiful waterfall here. And this tiny little tea house that Wolf Tenor made. So come out onto the little landing. You can look up, see the waterfall. It's very peaceful.
No geisha house, though.
What? The geisha house? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we needed a geisha house, but we didn't get one.
No, we didn't get one. Weird. Okay. And then this area back here, Wolf Tenor was inspired by the Golden Gate Park.
Yeah, it's the Japanese tea garden in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco.
Has this crazy bridge where it's kind of hard to walk up and over. So you have a funny story about that from when you were a kid?
Well, yeah, because they would take us there almost every year growing up. in elementary school. And even as a kid trying to climb that bridge, you pretty much had to crawl on your hands and feet to get over it. And then going down was just an even bigger disaster because invariably somebody fell. And we did have one kid fall in the pond, and they had to fish him out.
So you probably wouldn't have this in a modern amusement park because you'd probably get sued a bunch. But
big time.
Except by the skateboarders. Skateboarders would love it.
Okay, so that's the Japanese garden. Did I miss anything?
Nope, I think you got
Wolf
it all.
Tenor, we got it all. Okay, so that's the Japanese garden. So from this point, bamboo kind of hides the rest of the park, keeps it nice and peaceful. Original restrooms are still there from before. I had to look this word up today because I saw it. I'm like, what did he mean by that? Madakitin. How do you say that? Did you write this, Wolf Tenor?
No, I didn't. I didn't write it. It was on there from before.
It was already on there before? Okay.
Yeah.
Waggy must have put it on there.
I'm assuming it must mean like maybe.
It means come back.
Come
I looked
back?
it up and
Okay.
it means come back or come again. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he took what was on the other sign and
just
translated it. Yeah. Okay. So the Rose Theater from the last map, still here. It's far away from the fire. Thankfully, it survived. It's been 10 years, so they are now performing the 10th anniversary revival production of The Pirates of Penzance by Gilbert and Sullivan. Still starring the Major General Stanley Wolf.
Yay!
Because he's never going to give that role up ever.
Never. He's never going to let anybody else play that. Of course not.
Well, nobody could.
No. I hear him singing inside. Let's embarrass Wolf Tenor.
Oh, great.
See what he's up to. There he is.
I'll wait till you get to it. I just saw something funny.
Oh, you did. Okay. We'll get back outside. Don't know how much of that is copyrighted. Probably not.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all over YouTube.
It's all over YouTube.
Author's permission.
Okay, so I wanted to show off a couple things. So Bullethead made this amazing roadster. What's it called again? Bullethead?
That's a 1913 Stutz Bearcat.
Stutz Bearcat.
Basically very famous name of old cars. It was like the Corvette of its day, 2-seat hot rod thing. It could do 75 miles an hour.
Wow!
And it was basically the same as the Stutz Indy 500 racer. They just added fenders to it. That was basically all they did.
And again, incredible detail. You spared
that
no
one's a
expense
little
on
over
part
2,000 parts. Yeah, 2008 parts.
It's amazing.
Raccoon there.
I
We
know
have a little stowaway.
he's getting footprints all over my upholstery.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's all sheet metal there.
Okay,
Oh, that's
good.
good to know.
Easy enough to wipe
Yeah,
off.
but he's gonna crap on it.
It's okay.
They got
the Major
no
General has
manners.
people to clean that stuff up.
You're rich enough that he has people to clean up for him. Excellent. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, this car, when it was new, it cost what today would be around $50,000. It was like $5,000 in 1913. So, but yeah, very expensive car. That's why there's not very many cars.
Yeah. Okay.
Notice it only has brakes in the back too.
Ah.
I always forgot too. The theater did add dressing rooms for everybody.
Yes, I do want to go inside. I'm gonna pause it so I can hear myself talk. So we added. So if you go back here, So we have men's dressing room. So Wolf, I gotta say, Wolf Tenor is master at interiors, and this park is really going to show that off. So men's dressing room, a couple of mirrors, not a lot of space. Made me think of that funny story you told me the other day.
Oh dear, that
we
story.
won't share it. Then on this side, to compare, I thought this was kind of funny. It's a little bit prettier, not a whole lot. Mirrors. There's actually stuff hanging up in there. And then there's a private dressing room for guess who? Guess who gets his own dressing room?
Of
Who do
course,
you
he gets his
think?
own dressing room.
Gets his own dressing room, off separate from everybody else. And oh my gosh, it has pink walls, posters with his name on them, of course. His own little sink and everything. Lights around his mirror. So, yes, wallpaper.
Of course.
Of course. Wine, yes.
and a patio too.
That's true. So Major Stanley Wolf is his own little patio. You can come out here and get some sun, but not too much. Read a good book. So let's go back up to the saloon, because we definitely want to go inside there. So JP made this incredible saloon in homage to Bullethead's favorite
name
drink,
of it,
absinthe. Absinthe-minded saloon. JP marvels.
That name is just a wonderful name. I love it.
Yes, it's very creative. I love how he used the peacock to make part of the sign. I don't know if you guys noticed that before.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes along with the pattern and the windows. Okay, I'm going to turn the lights off because this looks really pretty.
JP is the master of burying animals in buildings.
Yes. Okay, so this is the interior. Because all I hear is Major Wolf singing still.
The walls are thin.
The walls are thin. So beautiful place. Detail on the bar. He's got the bar stools and the railing to prop your feet up on. There's this picture on the wall. This cool back staircase that goes up to some office upstairs, probably. Advertisements around.
Go in there.
What's that?
Don't go in that office upstairs.
Don't go in the office? Why?
We'll see.
Is there anything up there?
I don't think there was.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I often wondered whose portrait is on top of the piano.
That's
isn't that
Ellie? Ellie or
yeah, that's Ellie, right? The mascot.
Yeah,
I think it says her name
Ellie?
on it too. Yeah, it's got her name
It
on
does.
it. Yeah,
Who's Ellie?
yeah. She's the park mascot that they added at some point. Okay, so that is the absinthe-minded saloon. And then next door is something you guys might remember from the last map, except it was in a different place. This is the Rose Lake Nickelodeon Theater, where they showed movies.
Great train robbery.
Yeah, the Great Train Robbery inside. It's about to start. Loud talking, whistling not allowed. If annoyed when here, please tell the management. So, and then advertising for the Grand Cocotier Hotel. Great Train Robbery starts. So, Wolf Tenor, would you like to say a few words about how the Nickelodeon got here?
Well, after the Great Fire, it was decided they were going to basically expand the Midway, and um, the building had been spared. So the idea was, let's drag it up the hill, create kind of a theater entertainment row, if you will, and that would basically leave room down the Midway for other attractions. And if people wanted to see the shows, they wouldn't have to go down, all the way into the Midway
Excellent.
to see it.
Very cool.
But, they used to move buildings, all the time. So moving a small building like this was like not a big problem at all.
Yeah.
Basically using steam engines and horses and rollers, and just kind of drag it up the hill and plop it on a new foundation.
Cool. All right. So that's that. So let's look at some more new stuff.
Don't forget to go at the bottom of the carousel too, on the backside there.
Yeah. With the little fountain.
That's true. I will do that first because I forgot to put that on the outline. Let's go down there first. So JP built us this really cool garden at the base of, let me change the time, the base of the carousel, the retaining wall, decorated it up all nice. So Rose Lake Park, established 1899. So you can come down here and sit, look at the fish swimming in the little pond, and look up at the carousel and enjoy the beauty. So we added this path coming down here around the bottom of the carousel, and we have this nice garden to look at now. And it looks amazing. Looks all pretty lit up at night too. Very cool. All right. And while we're here, there was a Johnstown flood, was a infamous flood in Pennsylvania. And for whatever reason, a lot of amusement parks back in the day were obsessed with disasters. And so the people would pay good money to come watch reenactments of fires and floods and things. And so we thought, well, it'd be fitting to kind of explore something like that. So we have our own version. So we have the Great Peepsburg Flood Show. That's what we have. So you have our historical photographs here. And then inside, you have just kind of some seating looking down into this area here. So I'm going to start the show. It plays every 15 minutes, but we're not going to wait. I'm just going to tell it to start. We will go sit and enjoy the show because it's really fun. Wasn't that worth 5 cents? I say that was worth 5 cents.
The screams were my idea, but Fisherman was the one who made it sound so good.
Nothing says fun like screams of death.
Like screams of horror. Excellent. So that's
those are perfectly pitched.
Yes. So that's the Peepsburg flood extravaganza that you can participate in. All right. And then next door, this is another, speaking of the word exploit, this is another one. So there was a guy named County or Coney, not sure how he pronounced his name.
Coney.
He was he called himself a doctor, but in actuality, he was not a real doctor, but he was responsible for saving the lives of, I think they said over 1,000 infants
Something like that. Yeah.
in the time. But Coney Island had this thing where they had on display, you would pay, 5 or 10 cents to go in and see these premature babies being taken care of by these nurses and doctors in these incubators. And so that sounds kind of awful. Like, why would anyone want to do that? But they actually took all that money and used it to help care for the babies. So we made our own version to put inside Rose Lake Park. So we have 2 boys and 3 girls cooking here in the incubators. Yeah. And our nurse is there taking good care of them.
This really was a thing. I mean, it was all over the country for a while. I recall seeing one in I think 1965 at the Oklahoma State Fair.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I know I saw one of these a long time ago.
And there's a staircase going upstairs. I think the idea was that the nurses lived upstairs in an apartment, so that they always had someone up there to take care of them throughout the night. Okay, let me turn the lights back on. We have over here on the main part of the lawn, I made this custom Ferris wheel. So we didn't really have a Ferris wheel in the game that was period appropriate, so we decided to make our own. So I made one out of almost all toolkit items. There's a few in-game items in here. So we have a Ferris wheel. Doesn't actually work, but looks pretty cool. It's better scale for the time period than the smallest Ferris wheel that we have in the game. So pretty happy with the way that turned out. So there's that. And then let's see, across from it, we have a whip ride, which was fairly new during this time period.
It was like the JP, only flat ride in existence other than the carousel.
Right. This was an early flat ride, which is interesting because it's pretty complex if you think about it, compared to the things that just spin around. But JP decorated this up really nice for us, made it look really cool. And then next door to it, something kind of similar, something called the Witching Waves. And if you've never seen one of these, there's a few videos of these actually in operation. And the way it was, there was like this mechanism that ran underneath this sort of flexible metal platform, sheet metal. And then these cars had just rolling casters on the bottom. And as the wave moved across by this rolling sort of cam system or whatever was going on underneath, the wave would push the cars along.
It was kind of like a whip mechanism underneath the flexible deck.
Okay.
Around, yeah.
So it created sort of a ripple on the sheet metal above, and it pushed the cars around. So ours is sort of a kind of a as best we could do sort of version of it with what we had in the game. But so that's our Witching Waves.
Yeah, well, genius.
What's that?
Works. I said it's genius. It duplicates it quite well.
Yeah. If you want to make yourself have motion sickness, though, ride the POV because it's kind of nauseating. Yeah. We're gonna skip it on this video.
Thank you.
JP, I believe, enclosed our little swan ride in the gazebo. Keep the sun off the delicate ladies who didn't want to get sunburned. Grasshopper has survived, of course. And let's see, we want to come around here. This is something called a haunted swing. Some of you maybe have been to a park that has one of these. Vekoma has made, I think Mach has one and Vekoma has one. They've made sort of modern versions of these. Vekoma's is called the Madhouse, and they're really big and elaborate, and this is sort of the precursor to that. It was basically a illusion attraction where you would sit on these benches and the room would sort of spin around you, and it would make you feel like you were flipping upside down when you actually weren't. So I'm going to take you inside of ours. You can see what we did. So we have a little lobby inside, and then inside the main room we have the room rotating around the seats. And we used pixelated, made all this amazing scenery for his latest dark ride. And this is one of the pieces that he made, which is the spinning hallway scene that he made. So we used that to make the room look like it's spinning around the seats. So it's pretty believable. Added some creaky sound effects while you're in there. And there's a vista point in here, so occasionally peeps will actually walk inside and enjoy the view. I have seen a few go in there.
Oh, okay. Because I've never seen anybody do that. Hey,
Yeah, I saw some walk up the steps and go inside. They didn't stay very long, but I think they were just in there long enough to take pictures on their cell phone.
Or throw up.
Or throw up. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so while I have the lights off, let's go... Actually, let's look at this first. So, Jackalope was one of the things that we lost in the fire. What Bullethead did for us is he took the original station, because the station survived.
Yeah, it's too pretty to burn.
Right. If you look at the pictures, Beyond Your TV was the one who was responsible for burning down our park. He asked if he could be the one to burn down the park, and so we let him take the park and burn down the roller coaster and take all of our screenshots for us. In the photographs, there's just a tiny little bit on this corner that was kind of singed a little bit. So, but we got that all repainted.
I think one
Nice.
of the towers fell down.
Right, I think one of the towers fell in. So we got it all rebuilt, all nice and pretty and shiny. Fresh paint. And then we have this spectacular, much more thrilling Jackalope 2 roller coaster.
Don't forget the mascot changed. JP stuck different animals through the wall.
That's
time.
true. So we had before we had the reindeer with rabbit ears.
Was a moose.
It was some kind of caribou or something with bunny ears made out of foxtails. And now we have our official Rose Lake mascot, the Jackalope, which is the jackrabbit with deer antlers.
This is the plains jackalope. Before it was the mountain jackalope.
There you go.
Now it's the plains.
There you go. This one makes a lot more sense. We'll take a POV right on it in just a little bit. I'm going to show off the rest of the stuff and we'll come back to it. But as you can see, it's much more thrilling. It still uses the terrain. What's that?
If you say so.
I think it is. It goes faster. It looks cool. It's got this amazing little double up, double dip thing at the end there. Lots of airtime. Looks really cool. Okay, so
it was a total pain to get it in position in the existing building, and there's it awoke a ancient curse involving the path.
Yes.
It will be there till the end of time, I'm afraid.
Yeah. We ended up with a rogue piece of path inside the station that if you try to delete it, it crashes the game. So we will
delete it.
We will be keeping... We'll probably just be covering it with dirt eventually so that no one ever accidentally touches it again. But sent the park file to Frontier and they couldn't even figure it out. So we're just going to keep it. Keep burying it. So parks around this time built big, elaborate scenic railways covered in paper mache mountains. And so we tasked Waggy to come up with one for us, and he produced this really amazing Mount Vesuvius themed, volcano themed, scenic railway. So let's take a look at it in the daytime. It's incredible, guys. He spared no expense. Let me turn it back on. Spared no expense with parts. Uses a lot of parts. I think the blueprint, we got it right down to exactly 4,000 parts to bring it over.
Yes, that was a major group effort to consolidate.
Yeah. But it looks great. Beautiful in the daytime, and then even better at night. With all the cool glowing red light effects. And
so,
fire
again, focusing on our disaster themed park. Yeah.
Of course, it uses real fire. Yeah, uses real fire, so it probably won't last very long. But you know, has some cool peekaboo moments. See if we can catch the train coming through the station here. This was the very first station fly-through in history. Came from Rose Lake Park. Don't know if you guys knew that, but that's all the modern parks have copied us.
There it goes.
There it goes. But it's a beautiful ride. Really, really nice. Excellent. And then the last thing here is our Noah's Ark Funhouse.
Yes, another disaster.
Another disaster. Another great flood. So we have our Noah's Ark Funhouse. These attractions were very popular around this time. 1910s. Kennywood had one. Old Orchard Beach. Lots of places had these. The idea was the boat itself would rock, and so when you would go inside, it was like a moving tilt house sort of thing where you would try to keep your balance as you walked through the fun house. We couldn't make ours move, but we have some sound effects that make it seem like it's moving. But you can see we have all of our critters on top, and we have Dumbledore standing in for Noah up here for us. Okay, so let's go down. Let's see what we can see inside. Probably not very much.
The fun part's the giraffe.
The giraffe on top. So there's nothing inside. Oh, there is something. So we have a ride inside. So the funny thing is, even though it's not a real ride, because we put a hoax dark ride inside, it's like the most popular ride in the park. There's always a completely full queue line, so interesting. So let's look at the outside. There's some funny stuff on the outside. So we have all of our critters, most of which are just their standard paper mache critters of the time. And I think this crow likes to chew on painted paper because he's pecking that fake giraffe's eyeball out. Is that what you were talking about, Bullethead?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and also the only animals that will survive the flood are the peafowl and the flamingos.
That's true. Quite true. So that's Noah's Ark there. All right. So, shall we ride the two new coasters?
Yes.
All right. Which one would you like to ride first?
So let's do Vesuvius right here.
Yes, this is the better one.
All right. We'll do Vesuvius first. We've got to ride it at night. Here we go. You get some nice views of the other stuff on our way up. Nice peekaboo out to the park. There. And we are back to the station. Pretty cool.
And I didn't get sick in the chair.
You didn't get sick? There's a lot of cool, lots of cool little peekaboo spots where you can see through the walls. It's really, really cool.
Into the flaming hell.
Flames. There's some places I always forget to turn and look. There's one place where there's a horse.
Well, yeah, the statue's buried up in the lava.
Is it on the other side? I think it's on the other end. There it is. It's just the lava overtaking the horse and the statue.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And the whole little food court built into the side of it.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. We have the Bacchus buffet. Supposed to be kind of a play on Little Caesars. So we kind of came up with our own version of it. So we have that too. Okay.
Grappo instead of pizza.
Why don't we ride Jackalope at night? Does that sound good?
All right.
So I think for the last video we rode it during the daytime.
I think so too.
Okay, so we are riding Jackalope. Here we go. The what?
The rat.
Oh, the rat. Yeah, we have a little stowaway climbing up the lift hill here. Bullethead thinks it's a rat,
And,
but I think it's a chipmunk.
Same thing. This is actually the world's first dive coaster. Or
Dive coaster? Nice views. You got some nice lateral forces in there, Bullethead.
That's what she said.
Oh my gosh.
Horses are more your doing because I had more bank in the turns.
Awesome. Oh, that's right. We talked about how coasters at this time had flatter turns before they got to the 20s.
Yeah, well, stand by for bank next time.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually end this video here because we added so much to map 3, guys. We're gonna have to split this video in half. So we're gonna talk about the next part of the stuff in the next video. All right, so we're gonna sign off here, and so we would like to encourage you guys to check out the blog. I'll post the link to the blog in the description. The park we will make available for download probably when we release the second video in this set. So stay tuned for that. So probably another week or two, the park will be ready to download. And then, so I have been Fisherman, and go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm Wolf Tenor.
You were always Fisher.
I'm always Fisher.
Bullethead. Yeah, this is Bullethead.
Hi, Bullethead. And who else do we have? I think we missed you.
Oh, Craig.
Who? Oh, Craigbot.
Craig.
Poor Craigbot. So Fisherman, Wolf Tenor, Bullethead, and Craigbot has been recording our video for us. our audio for us, behind the scenes. So we will check you guys next time. Thank you for joining us, and we have a lot to show you off in the next video. Thank you for watching.